Welcome back. In the previous video that I recorded, I showed you how we built a query, a simple select query using a certain number of columns against the table, then selecting from the table. Then we ordered the data by a particular column, and then we applied a filter specifying that we only want to see a subset of the data, not the full data, but a subset of the data that is filtered out by a where clause statement. We're going to proceed with different types of filters so that we can solidify this idea. So the next thing I want to show you is how we can expand on this filter. Right here we had a where sale amount is greater than 1,000. I'm going to add an additional criterion to this where clause, and that will be and, means both this and the subsequent criteria will have to be satisfied. And sales dot month equals January. Okay, go ahead and run this query. So now we only see the data that qualifies for both of these. Both of them, the sale amount is greater than 1,000 and the month is January. So you can extrapolate this, and you can imagine that you can build a unlimited number of filters in the where clause, and you can use an OR, and I'll show you an example of OR here in a second. So this is how you apply multiple criteria. Since I showed you how to do how to use the full sales dot syntax earlier, I want to show you a abbreviated syntax so you can shorten your query a little bit. One thing you can do is you can what's called alias the table. So instead of using sales, you can just do an S right here. That means the sales table is now aliased as S. So instead of sales, I can just do S dot sales dot rep ID, S dot sales amount, and S dot month. And the same holds true here, S dot month, S dot sales amount, and S dot sale amount ascending. The query still will run just fine, it's just a little bit less typing. Okay, so we've just applied two criteria here in our where clause. Let's see another example. Let's say that instead of sale amount, we actually want to see all the sale. We want to see the sales rep ID. We want to see the sale amount and the month for any sales that took place in region with ID 4 and region with an ID of 3. How do we do that? So we want to see it for both regions, not either or, but both. So to do that, we're going to do s dot region ID equals 3 or s dot region ID equals 4. The reason I'm using OR here is that the filter criteria says give me all the regions, all the rows that qualify for region ID 3 or regions ID 4, which means give me both. Don't just give me, if I specify an AND here, then these two criteria are mutually exclusive, and I'm going to get, actually let me show you, if I do an AND, I'm going to get 0 rows because you don't have rows that qualify for both. They cannot be, you cannot have a sale that occurs both in region ID 3 and region ID 4. You cannot have that. But if I specify OR, then I want to see any sale that occurred in region ID 3 or region ID 4, which means the union of both. Okay, so these are all the sales that occurred in region ID 3 and region ID 4. And obviously, if I want to see the region ID itself as a column, I can always throw that in here on the list of columns, s dot region ID. I did not have to, but if I wanted to see it, I can add it here. So here's all my regions that I want to see. So okay, so that's the where clauses. We saw a single where clause, a single filter, then we added a second filter using the AND keyword, and now we added two filters with the OR keyword. We can throw in OR s dot region ID equals 2. Now we have 3 regions that we want to see the sales for, right? 2, 3, and 4. Basically, we're excluding one. Okay. There's other ways to do it. There's not in region 1. For now, we're just going to stick with this syntax. Okay. Let me show you something. So instead of showing region IDs, I actually want to be able to do this filtering using a region name. Now, obviously, the sales table does not have a region name in here, right? And in order for me to actually use a region name as a filter, I have to include the region table in my query where the region name appears. How do I do this? How do I include 2 tables in my query? Well, I'm gonna leave this query sitting here for a minute, and I'm gonna show you how to build a simple query that combines 2 tables. And the keyword that's used to combine 2 tables is join. We're basically joining 2 tables. So let me go ahead and create a new query that joins 2 tables. I want to join the region table, and I want to join it to the sales table. These are the 2 tables I want to show data from. And as you can see, access automatically. I mean, this link has already been built before, but if I switch over to, now that I've added the 2 tables, and the link exists automatically, Access automatically creates the inner join syntax for me. So select, I'm going to say select star, select everything from the region table, inner join the sales table. That's the syntax that says join this table. And then we're saying, we're specifying in a join what we're joining these tables on. There has to be a column in each table. One is a primary key in one of the tables, and it's a foreign key in the other table. But there has to be a common column in each table that we can use to join the data from both tables. And the column here is region ID coming from the region table, and region ID coming from the sales table. So what we're doing here is select everything from the region table, join it to the sales table, and we're doing a join on the region ID from the region table equals to the region ID from the sales table. Okay, and so if I run this query, I'm going to get the results from both tables. I'm getting all the data from sales, and joined to it is the data from the region table. Here's my region information. Basically, there's 2 columns in the region table. If I click on the region table, there's the region ID and then the name. So here's my region ID from the region table, and then here's my name. And then the rest of the columns here are from the sales table. Okay, so we just built a simple join query. Okay, I'll switch back to the view here. So simple join. Now going back to my original query here, I want to use a where clause, and instead of filtering out region IDs, I want to filter out the data using a region name. So going back to my join query here, I'm going to specify where region. Oh, and let me use my aliasing technique here. I'm going to alias region as R, and I'm going to alias sales as S. So here I don't have to do region, but I just do R.region. Here I can do S.region ID, where R.region, that's the name of the column that contains the region name, is equal to south, or R.region equals to north. Let me see. So we're doing 2, 3, and 4. East, north, and south. Okay. Or R.region equals to east. Okay, so we're saying give me all the columns. That's basically what the start means. Give me all the data from all the columns from the region and the sales table joined together on this column, but filter out only data that matches the criteria, and the criteria is data from the south, north, and east region. Okay, if I run this query, here's all my data, and you can